Well, hello YouTube. I just thought I'd do a kind of a quick video of my tool set that I used. I actually just did a trip down to my brother's for the U.S. Thanksgiving, and on the way back, I picked up a car in the Lower Mainland and brought it back to Northern Alberta. And so I just kind of took a basic tool set to kind of get me out of a pinch in case something went wrong bringing this car back, and had a few extra tools. I guess my niece crashed her car last summer and I was told that I might need some help trying to get it back on the road again. So I just took a few extra tools to see if I could do fix anything with it. So that's kind of where the pry bars are, but I always find them handy, especially when the poop hits the fan. But I'm just kind of start off over here. Just got some pen lights. Personally, I prefer these stream lights, but on a whim, I decided to try out this Coast. It's got a few extra features, but I just didn't like how it feels in the hand. But ended up actually having all three of them in the car. I thought I only packed the Coast and the Streamlight, but the other one happened to be already in the car. And then I packed two of these. These are just nice to put on work, especially kind of the shorter daylight hours of the winter time, so you can see some stuff or whatever. But it's still in my backpack that I use with me every day. So right here, I just carry a assortment of metric wrenches. Pretty much everything I have is metric, so I don't carry any SAE stuff with me. Basically, all my cars are metric, and stuff that I work on is metric. So I usually don't carry this with me unless I know I'm doing something with wheels. But just a torque wrench. I knew I was going to be changing out wheels. The car that I bought came with Summers. They're actually sitting right here, and I wasn't going to go over the coke with those, so I put Winters on. So I figured if I'm doing that, then I'm going to torque the wheels. So it's not a big deal to throw it in, especially if I know I'm using it. Just good peace of mind. Kind of a bigger hammer. Like I said, I thought I was going to be straightening out a car that was crashed. You always need a little bit of persuasion. I usually try and keep just a hammer on hand, especially if something kind of goes south. You need a little extra persuasion, and I ended up actually using it this trip. Pry bar was for that. Like I said, it's not something I usually carry, but I carried it this time just figuring I was going to need it. Just a 1/2 inch ratchet, a few different pliers, some side cutters. I actually forgot one set of pliers that I usually carry with me, and I kind of wish I did, but it made do with the slip joint, and that's usually these guys right here. And I usually find them for castle nuts on rear wheel bearings, and I actually had to use that. Problem with kind of bringing a car back roadkill style. I'll get to that a little bit later here. So the car that I picked up said it had a heat problem, so I thought I might be having to change a heater core out. But now, after kind of thinking about it and reviewing it, it's another issue common with those cars, but the first one I've actually ever run into with that car. There's a kind of a foam backing on the blend doors, and basically it comes off and then lets cold air straight through into the car. And so that'll be my next project here. I'll probably be tackling later this weekend. Just my most common Torx bits. There's sometimes it's nice to use a screwdriver, but I did also pack bits or whatever to go onto a ratchet or a nut driver. Just my most common, or just a set of screwdrivers. I always find them handy. And then, like I said, it was I thought I was going to do some heat problems, so I just brought my radiator hose picks. I thought maybe what I do is pinch off the line with these bad boys here and swap out a heater core. At the very least, I was going to try and use some CLR and see if I could unplug it, because I figured it was plugged. But like I said, I put some more thought into it, kind of did something, thought of it being different. And then, just some rad hose pliers. Find them super handy. It looks like we got a visitor coming to supervise here. Hello, Fitz. So then, I just brought some swivel sockets to use with with my new 3/8 gun. Yeah, I just find them. The swivel's handy. Do about 90% of what you need to use them with, and then I always pack this one just for changing wheels. Just makes it handy, especially on the side of the road. And then just with the size, I packed my my ratchet. I just picked this up. Haven't really had a chance to use it. I tested it out on the work truck, and it seems to give me some pretty good data. So I packed it along this time. It's a Bluetooth code reader. I'm trying to remember the name. I guess Blue Driver is the name. Seems like it gives pretty good data, and it works off your smartphone. So I just plug it into that. But I haven't really had a chance to use it. Most of the time, I use Vacom. Although, hindsight, I threw my didn't bring my laptop with me, but my tablet has it, so I could have used that. But it was kind of an afterthought. Realized later. But yeah, I just brought just a standard assortment of metric sockets. Forgot the deeps this time, but I had another case here, and then I take this as just a bunch of quarter drive stuff, but it just fits in the case, so it's pretty easy to pack. So I usually bring that, and then yeah, the older Volkswagens use a lot of Allen keys, so I've got the Allen key drivers, and then just assortment of sockets and a couple different ratchets, extensions, my nut driver, and then just in the back here, if we have a real big problem, then I just have a multimeter there. You never know when you're going to need it. And then just a couple of the other little other things. I carry all this stuff in just one of these little canvas bags. I like the canvas bags. The tools don't rattle as much in them, so you don't get that rattle as you're bouncing down the interstates, especially on the cement interstates where you get the consistent frosty cracks. And then right here is just a set of 1/2 inch and 3/8 drive impact sockets. It just kind of gives me a full assortment of sockets. In the case, it's kind of easy to carry. And then, yeah, depending on what I'm doing for the trip, if I plan on bringing a car back, then I'll bring a regular jack. I like this Princess Auto jack. It's fairly lightweight. It's got a low profile, so it gets underneath the lowered cars, which this car I brought back is. But yeah, so that's kind of what I had on hand. Now, like I said, this car was a RoadKill style thing. I, kind of did a quick once over of the car and kind of had a couple little issues that I kind of noticed, and we kind of tried to just make do, mend it, but it ended up being a problem. Turns out getting cotter pins in BC is quite difficult. And yeah, the cotter pin was reused on the rear bearing, and ended up losing the bearing. So I picked up bearings, had no problem getting bearings, but I don't know, the BC guys can tell me better. I've always heard good things about Lordco, but I couldn't get a cotter pin from Lordco. They did not stock cotter pins. I don't understand why. After about 3 stores, I managed to find these and pick those up, but I ended up finding a cotter pin from someone else because I guess I ended up losing all the ends off the bit, so I ended up having to took out a stub axle and a few other bearings, or the outer bearing. The inner bearing was still all right, so I ended up picking up a few tools, running back to Kamloops and picking some stuff up here. Picked up a file and just a punch and chisel, some emery cloth just to kind of resurface a few materials so I could get a bearing on. So it got me back. So like I said, at that time I only had about 600 kilometers left to go. Picked up a torch just in case. I didn't end up actually having to use it, but I did use a chisel. And actually, this jet chisel here worked really awesome. I was quite impressed. Just some more grease for repacking the new bearings, and some more just kind of gloves. I had some on hand, but I didn't know if I had enough, so I just picked up some more, and then picked up a inexpensive 3-jaw puller from Princess Auto. And kind of while I was there, I guess this wasn't on sale when I was there, but they forgot to take the sale price off of it. And it's just a slide hammer puller kit, and ended up kind of getting it for 50% off. So these kind of tools I don't mind getting from Princess Auto for how much they use, and when you do break them, you just take them back and you get another one for free. So, but yeah, no, that was kind of my excitement, kind of what I ended up having to go back for. Luckily, I had 2 cars, but it's never fun leaving a car on the side of the highway overnight. And then, yeah, I didn't think the parts I had to grab were going to be too big a deal. Take for granted out here in Alberta, you need a part, you go down and it's there. And just all my years working, like I said, I never had problems getting cotter pins, so I don't know what the deal with that was. You know, they went and showed me what they had for cotter pins, and it was nothing. They had some real short guys that were like this long, and then they had some massive guys that were like 6 inches long. So I didn't quite understand that, but yeah, I just thought I'd do a quick video tonight, just kind of showing the toolkit that I had that saved my bacon, and some of the stuff I actually had to pick up because I just didn't have it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll keep this kind of content coming for you. We'll catch you in the next one.